Intermission.
Okay.
So I think what we'll be talking about. What are we talking about?
I run away.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Welcome back to A Model and Her Friend.
So excited to have you guys back this
Yeah.
week for another face mask and real talk.
We are excited to put on a new mask and talk about another pressing topic that we feel needs to be addressed.
Yeah, I mean,
Or we'd like to talk about with each other today at least.
you guys.
Some
Keep looking
new
at
and
it.
exciting news. It just got released that I'm the new face of Biotherm.
Amazing. I'm sitting next to the new face of Biotherm, currently a face of Maybelline, and I am the face of nothing.
But you're my best friend.
Yeah.
And you crush it at Google.
Thanks, girl.
So-
what is in it? What does it do?
They have, in it is Life Plankton, which is Biotherm's like #1 product claim to fame.
okay.
And it comes from a certain like body of water in France.
Oh.
And
I
it's
mean-
in their products, and it has healing properties, anti-aging
Put it on my
properties, like
face.
you name it. It does all the things that we
needed and want.
That we need. And it has a high concentration of this Life Plankton, and apparently it has a lot of,
I mean, a body of water in France.
I know.
It's where a lot of great wine comes from.
Yeah.
It's gonna freshen up my
They know what's up.
They know.
We're gonna try this, and then we are going to talk about,
Confidence at work.
yes, for our ladies out there who have jobs, or our ladies out there who are one day going to have jobs.
Yeah.
And I guess it's
Or
could
even
apply
it's
for
about
anything.
school or
Yeah.
something else. Yeah.
Yeah,
It could
we're
really
going
go
to
for
talk
anything.
about, you know, what overcomes us sometimes when we have a stressful day ahead, or something, a stressful work event or anything like
Yeah.
that ahead, and how we tackle such things.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to it,
Yeah.
and we're gonna put on the mask, and we'll see you guys in a little bit.
Be right back.
Approximately 10 hours later.
It's very clear, as you can see, but the texture is really nice. It's like very hydrating,
Really hydrated.
which I like, and it smells good. Feels
Yes.
good.
It feels good. It feels
It's like
like
a cooling sensation.
it feels like I splashed that water from France just onto my face.
Yes, like you feel, yes.
it feels great.
So we are going to talk about confidence at work, like we said. So
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, Christina and I are in two totally different industries,
Yeah.
and we both struggle. I think any person who has a job, or if you
Yeah.
have something coming up, you might get anxious. You're like, how do I go into this? And I feel like me personally, and I'm sure you too, have had to figure out tactics to, like, how do I approach and feel confident walking into X, whatever X is, right?
Yeah,
Like whatever that
absolutely.
may be.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen you prepare for stuff, and like
Sure.
how you get ready for things, and you've seen me prepare for things, and
Yeah.
like it's totally different. I feel like we should talk about that, because
Yeah.
anyone out there, whether it be like maybe you have a test, or maybe you're trying to get into a college, or maybe you have a job interview, or maybe you have a photo shoot, what meetings or events, whatever it is, at Google that
Yeah.
make you feel stressed, or make you feel nervous, or something that you feel like you need to be like, all right, like buck up, what do I need to do
Yeah.
here?
So I think my biggest thing, and Emily has seen me prepare for this, is when I have to give presentations, especially in front of a large group of people, and I know that my boss will be there, or that my boss's boss will be there. So it's kind of like anytime that I also know any sort of senior leadership will be there, I definitely feel stressed out.
Right.
And I think that one of the things, especially for women, it's like, oh, you should always be confident. And it's fine to also be like, these are the specific tactics I use to be confident in my job or at that presentation. So for me specifically, the key to being confident is preparation. Prepare, prepare, prepare. I will present to Emily. I will present to anyone who will listen to me when I am preparing. Emily will tell you that we were together on a vacation, and we were at lunch, and I was like, so let me tell you about the creative best practices on this platform. And it actually, I think that's actually one of the biggest tips. For me, I need to be over prepared, because that allows me to be confident, because I know that I know it inside out. You could be slapping me in the face and I would still be able to recite it to you.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things too, that when I am preparing for something, to help me kind of address the anxiety and the stress that I feel, I tell as many people about it as possible. And they say, oh, well, what are you giving that presentation on? And that actually also really helps me, and it helps me prepare at the same time.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's good advice, I feel like, for anyone, if whether you're like in the workforce or going into the workforce. It's like,
Yeah.
AKA know your shit.
Yeah. So I think for you, like, even when you were preparing for, you know, when you got biotherma, and that was like a huge deal, you know, really important. So when you are going on that shoot or any other big shoot, like, how do you kind of make sure that you are going to be confident in that shoot? And what gives you anxiety, and then how do you deal with it?
Well, my advice is going to be so different than yours.
Yeah, but I think...
Which is, like, I guess, it's just the beauty of a model and her friend.
Here we are.
You know? The yin and yang, you know.
Two different ladies, two different perspectives.
Your advice is very good in the sense for me when I'm preparing for something, whether it be going to a big photo shoot or, you know, when I flew somewhere, when I'm flying somewhere for a big job, I try to prepare, eat well, you know, exercise, get good, like, rest, and all those things. Sometimes I'm not totally prepared, right? Like, I may have just come off 3 weeks of traveling, or, you know, like, I haven't been able to work out, or I haven't slept well, and I just straight up don't feel confident, or I don't feel in shape, or I feel like I could look better. I feel like maybe the job I'm on, they want someone else, or they don't like the way I look, or they're not a fan. Like, that happens, and you can tell. Like, I can tell sometimes when someone's just, like, not a fan, or they don't like the way a certain thing looks on my body, and I'm like, this does look terrible. I'm so sorry. I don't know if I can tell it. I'll do my best.
So crazy. You're so
But my advice, and I do this, I'm literally like, I will fake this until I make it. Like, you will think that really I feel like $1 million. Like, watch me. And sometimes I will feel so terrible in something, or I won't feel great, but I'm like, I just go out there and I'm like, if I can convince myself that I feel amazing, everyone else will also think I look amazing and feel amazing, and you cannot reject me.
But how do you do that? I think it's also really interesting because for you, it's like, this is my face, this is my body. Like, for me, if I prepare more on something, I'm like, usually I can, I'll give a better presentation. So how do you go out there? Because I think that would be great. Like, how do you go out there and you're like, no matter what, I'm going to fake it till I make it. Here's how I make myself feel like $1 million.
All I have, like, all I can do and all I am is what I have right here. There's nothing that can be done from this point on for me. Yeah. It's so true. Like, and maybe when you walk into a meeting, I'm like, this is it. And if they don't like it, that's not really my problem. I feel great. I am great. I have tons to offer.
I love it.
And I'm going to give 100% to this. And I think that leads to my other second piece of advice is that whenever I'm on set, I'm like trying to do something, I just always tell myself, like, I give 150% everything I have, even if it's, I don't feel great about it, or I don't really know what I'm doing. Like, I just give everything that I can and do the best that I can, absolute best that I can, because then you can look back and you never feel bad. You're like, I did everything that I could.
I think that can be very applicable, because no matter what you're doing, you know, whether it's preparing for a paper at school or for a large presentation at work or whatever, or a large project, if you are like, I know I've given 150% to do whatever, in your case, it's more in the moment. But if I just make sure I gave 150% into preparing for this presentation. I gave 150% in doing that paper. So I think that's great advice. And yeah, it can totally be applicable in both worlds.
Yeah.
Ironically, especially in the workplace, they say that women have a lot less confidence than men. So for instance, if there is a manager position, let's say, men who are less qualified are more likely to go for the role than women, because we are so much more, we're just harder on ourselves. And they're like, well, I shouldn't be going for this role. I shouldn't be doing that. And I remember thinking, I feel like I'm a pretty confident person. That doesn't apply to me. But oftentimes, I often think I have no business being here. Even with a model and a friend, I'm like, I have no business being here.
I think everyone does that.
So I think like that imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I do is I just take a moment to kind of reflect and think, I am here for a reason, and what do I have to bring to the table? And I know I have something to bring to the table. So always thinking about, like, you have something to bring to the table. What is that value? And I think that really helps me to be more confident, because I'm like, hey, I have something to say here. I have a point of view, and I guarantee you, as I said, there is something that you bring to the table. So take a minute to think about what that is and bottle it up and remember that and don't forget it, and you will be more confident. And then the fourth thing is, I don't know if this happens as much in your line of work where they make you assess. I think actually you're constantly almost assessing yourself, but in a different way, your strengths and your weaknesses. Do you do that? Do you think about that a lot, or do people point that out a lot?
I guess kind of. Sometimes, like, you can know it by like looking at a photo or a playback, and you're like, oh, my lazy eye, front and center. God, that's a weakness. I'll say my left eye.
But
is
it's kind
so
of
weak.
messed up, because like the strengths and weaknesses are totally external based.
It's
where
nothing with the inside, which is the peak and the pit of what I do, because it's like. It's external, so it has nothing to do with, the inside. But at the same time, I'm also like...
But you know what the bigger point is? Everyone has strengths.
Yes.
You
are strong.
Think about what your strengths are, and
channel
that will make you more confident. So always focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses, and that will help.
Yeah. Thank you for joining
Thank
us
you.
for another Face Mask and Real Talk. We
did our best.
Yeah.
We're confident about this video.
Zero
you guys.
regrets.
So once again, please comment below. Tell us what you liked, didn't like, but be nice.
Yeah.
And also topics that you want us to talk about. We want to hear from you guys, and we hope we see you next week.
Yeah, and we're gonna wash off these masks. We will link below our Life Plankton mask, and we hope we see you guys very soon.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye.